The continuing fallout from the Durham investigation, the Russia hoax trail appears to lead to one swampy doorstep, the Clintons. What's the latest?
That's exactly right, Steve. There may be many roads that we've been investigating. I know for the past 5.5 years since I started looking into this story, one road leads you to Andy McCabe, another road leads to Comey or Brennan, but every single one of those roads leads to the doorstep of Hillary Clinton and the election. And basically the tentacles that she had throughout Washington, D.C. For example, right now, Jake Sullivan, who is the national security advisor, we know he was mentioned in John Durham's report, right? Very interesting. It doesn't mean he's a target of the investigation, but what we do know is that Michael Sussman, the lawyer for Hillary Clinton, who was basically paid by the DNC and Hillary to get this dodgy dossier from Christopher Steele's, had basically contacted Jake Sullivan when he was working for Hillary Clinton and the campaign. And Michael Sussman had basically pushed a lie that the Trump Towers was pinging off of a Russian bank called Alpha Bank. So we knew that all of these lies started with the Hillary Clinton campaign and those connected to it. I think what John Durham is going to do, he's going to continue to follow those leads down that road. And I really hope that he doesn't stop. I really hope that the Department of Justice doesn't just sweep under the rug the people that they want to throw under the rug, but that they expose everything and everyone. And believe me, everyone is under Hillary Clinton.
Yes, and this is what's so interesting. So last week we talked about it's all these names that keep sort of coming up. You know, it just gets bigger and bigger. So last week it was Fiona Hill, right? Suddenly she shows up in the middle of this whole thing. And this week, Jake Sullivan. I mean, Jake Sullivan was, I think, he's now, obviously focusing on foreign policy. He was her main policy advisor, I think, in the campaign, wasn't he?
Yeah, 100%. He was her main policy advisor. And in fact, there's many lawmakers who find him a terrible policy advisor. He was in the middle of the Biden administration's policy to withdraw from Afghanistan, that was a horrible withdrawal. And now we've got a lot of lawmakers calling for him to resign because of his connections. But see, it's not just that simple. His wife works for the Department of Justice. We see a lot of connections with different family members, and there's a lot of concern that there's kind of this incestuous Washington, D.C. playbook where all these people are connected to one another and able to cover for one another, which makes it the swamp, right? And this was the reason why President Trump was so adamant about cleaning it out. And now what we're seeing is more and more evidence that they weaponize the FBI, that they weaponize the DOJ, they being the Democrats and the Clinton campaign, as well as people within the intelligence community. And that really trampled on the U.S. Constitution, Steve. That is what Americans can't get over. Are there two sets of justice here? One for them, one for us. And I think that's what's angered so many people. And as the Durham investigation continues to indict, because believe me, Igor Danchenko and Michael Sussman will not be the last people to be indicted in this. But as they continue to indict, more and more doors will open. I think more will be revealed. I think there will be a sense of justice, but only if John Durham goes full throttle and cleans house all the way. And so far, I'm very disappointed in the fact that we didn't see anything happen with Andy McCabe. And I'm concerned that some of the bigger players, I call them the puppet masters, and their bag of tricks have not been called out.
Well, we'll see. What a great update. Thank you, Sarah. What it's revealing is just the anatomy of the swamp, all of it. The law firms, the think tanks, the politicians, it's all there.